last week on The Other Bennet Sister, we met the whole crew who we know from Pride and Prejudice. And we're looking at things through Mary's lens. And by lens, I mean through her thick glasses, because she's the awkward one. She met a guy at a dance, her optometrist, if you will, and was told that one more dance would think that they were getting married. So things didn't end so well for her. And she is allegedly a new Mary. So let's dive into that this week on the Lords of Grantham podcast. And we are back for episode 2 of The Other Bennet Sister. Corey, how are you feeling? What's going on?
I'm feeling great, Dave. Went for a jog, did some meal prep. Another week of meal prep. I'm just feeling on the ball, you know?
That's good.
The half-hour TV show, Dave, it's a wonder. I'm surprised we haven't done more of this. How are you feeling?
I'm good. I watch this at night, so the only thing I gain back is like more time to watch YouTube videos before I go to bed. So it's not like it's not a usable half hour for me. Not that, I mean, it could be. Maybe that should be one of my mid-New Year's resolutions, is to use the half hour more effectively.
Meal prep before you go to sleep.
Well, I cook, so I just do leftovers. I don't need meal. I don't live a meal prep life.
Because you make it all at once and it's just leftovers for the week.
Yeah, I guess I don't. I mean, I have a system with meal prepping.
It's more complicated.
Oh yeah. Well, do we have any news on the fronts of our shows? Anything? We have the Emmy nominations.
That's the biggest one. Gilded Age finally nominated for Best Drama on TV. First 2 seasons, it missed the boat. Understandably, the first season had some things to work out. But season 3 absolutely justified in earning that nomination. And also Carrie Coon, a first-time nominee, too.
Yeah.
They've been nominated in the past for production and costuming, but this is the first time they've kind of been recognized in the above-the-line categories. So, well-deserved on their part. I don't know how what their chances are for actually winning are, because it's a huge list of, like, shows nominated for Best Drama at the Emmys. And, like, The Pit is still very popular. What else is nominated? What's up against? I'm trying to find a quick list here. Okay, so it's up against The Diplomat. This is a Netflix show starring Kerry Russell that I have not watched.
It's got that one.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it's any good. People tell us if it's good. Night of 7 Kingdoms. That was a solid Game of Thrones show. I watched it. Paradise Season 2. That's not a good show. Very watchable though. But I would not say it's good. The Pit. Good. Not as good as Season 1. Pluribus. Very good. It's not the Gilded Age though. Slow Horses. I've never watched. Your Friends and Neighbors, I heard, is actively bad. Listeners, correct us if we're wrong on that, but I feel Gilded Age lands easily in the top 3 of these shows, at least, if not top 2.
I mean, if it wins, that's huge. Downton Abbey never took home any of these awards, right?
I believe it did. I mean, imagine though Gilded Age wins Best Drama on the heels of the new season kicking off. That's like gas in the tank for the next season. No, Downton Abbey was up against Mad Men, Game of Thrones, and Homeland.
It won miniseries, outstanding miniseries. So that must have been for season 1.
Yeah, before they realized there was more money to be made there with the show. But yeah, congrats to everyone involved in the Gilded Age. Can't wait for you to come back, for the show to come back, so we can cover it again.
Yeah.
But I think that's pretty much the only major news outside of us just talking about some more other Bennet sister, I should say.
Now you're telling me that Buccaneers didn't get nominated for anything?
Buccaneers has not been nominated for anything.
Nothing?
I'm sorry to say. I mean, they really do just lean towards like the HBO programming, like Succession.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm being sarcastic.
It is kind of crazy though. The Crown won for season 4, and look, The Crown is very much prestige TV. It was good. The Crown has never been as good as Gilded Age has been in season 3. Just being real. And what did The Crown beat? The Crown beat Bridgerton season 1, The Boys season 2. The Boys was nominated. Oh, this is like a pandemic year, so it was an off year. Lovecraft Country, Mandalorian.
Weird year.
Weird year. I like those shows, but not what you consider Emmy material exactly.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Emmy material, let's talk about Mary Bennet and all of her fun.
Oh, wait, was this nominated, Dave? Was this
No, but this will be. Next year I feel we're going to see some other Bennet sister, hopefully.
Because they do have a rule over there that the show has to be co-funded by a domestic enterprise. So I guess Downton Abbey had the PBS support. I don't know if the other Bennet sisters...
Is BritBox an American? Because it says BritBox in partnership with the BBC.
That's a good question, Dave. I don't know. But that's the only way it can get nominated. Because Heated Rivalry famously did not get nominated this year because that's an entirely Canadian production, even though it appears on HBO. It's produced by Bad Wolf for BBC, and Bad Wolf is a UK thing. So theoretically, it may not get that nod, Dave.
Rats.
Although Sony Pictures Television also helps produce it too, so it has the global right. I don't know, but it seems like no. Anyways, let's just get to the show. If you had to describe this episode really quickly, Dave, it'd be, this is the Mr. Collins episode.
Yep, this is the rest of Pride and Prejudice.
Pretty much.
From the back seat.
It's kind of crazy, too, because, I mean, we can get ahead of things, because if you're listening to us, you've already watched the episode. We spend the bulk of this episode covering his visit to the Bennet house, and then by the end of the episode, they just hit fast forward through all the sisters getting married, and we don't even see the rest of the Pride and Prejudice events.
Yeah, and in Pride and Prejudice, there's still there's 2 unmarried sisters at the end of it, right?
I believe so. Or they're not entirely settled yet. Yeah,
because what's his name? This is where my lack of really loving Pride and Prejudice, as much as I like it, I'm not obsessed. We know that Lizzie winds up with Darcy. Jane winds up with Bingley. The other sister winds up with that soldier who kind of screws him over. So that means we're left with Mary and the one other one who winds up married, who is married also. So Mary's the last one at home.
And I guess we'll get there, but it's an interesting narrative choice where you could have milked Pride and Prejudice for all it's worth, because that's what people are.
Yeah, because we thought it would be the whole season, at least half the season, a chunk of the season,
a few more episodes. But then you think about it, Mary's always in the background of Pride and Prejudice, and so how much can you actually represent from that story? And again, this is also adapted from a novel, so it's not clear how much they actually just pulled from that too. That didn't actually adapt Pride and Prejudice fully. So it's like, okay, I can see why Mary's not actually in the book much. So why would we have more events from that? She's definitely present for when Mr. Collins visits. But it does create this scenario of like, well, what comes next then?
Well, I think they do an expert job with her operating in the Mr. Collins story. Like, you really do wonder, because what's the soldier's name? Why is it the...
not Bingley. It's Mr. He's a piece of trash. Oh, it's Bingsley, right? Or no.
Wickham. Mr. Wickham.
That's who it is. Yes.
So I mean, you could play him into the Wickham thing, because I think, and I mean, maybe we're just jumping ahead of it, but last week we had Charlotte Lucas kind of take Mary under her wing and give her a little advice about dancing with the optometrist, the eye doctor. Saying, like, calm down, don't overdo it, people are going to think you're intended. And this week, we see her do something similar with Mr. Collins, where it's like, look, marriage doesn't have to be about love. It's just a situation. Like, she's almost jaded. But Charlotte, the big through line, rather, the sort of declarative opening statement last week that carried through was, imagine what it's like to have no money and not be pretty. And I think that Charlotte has
said that,
money.
Dave, was like, just imagine, man, how rough
but
that
is. That's what Lady Mary, Mary Bennet, getting Downton mixed up in this.
The
Charlotte
there's some dramatic irony in that. Like back then, that was all that mattered. But the way you said it right now made it sound like, imagine today if you were ugly and you had no money. It's like, I think there's other ways to get by in the world today.
But we see. I mean, Charlotte is not not pretty. You know, like she's not played to be. Sure. She's not played to be like the hot girl, if you will. You know, that's Jane.
But she does reference that she's getting older, and so those opportunities become much more limited the older you get. There's only bites of the apple that you get to marry a man with some amount of wealth. Yeah.
So let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, because we do see early on Charlotte is on Mary's side. But we start the episode off with Mary kind of talking about how the dance was such a abysmal experience for her. And now she's going to double and triple down into sort of spinsterhood and read. Get stuck. She's, stave off the pain and humiliation. Be steady, informed, and rational. Think more, feel less. Which is
I thought
tough.
This was an odd step back from where we left the last episode. Because at the end, she's like kind of committing herself to saying, I'm not going to be the same Mary that people know. I'm going to change and stuff like that. And often when they make these TV shows, they make the pilot first, and they get the order for the rest of the series. And obviously this is based off a book, so there's already an idea of how it's going to go. But by the end of the first episode, you get a sense of like, okay, so whatever she's going to do in the next episode is going to be kind of a soft reset of who we just met, or some step forward. But the way she kind of brings up what her plan is at the beginning of this episode is almost doubling down on who she already is, which is saying, I'm going to keep reading books, and I'm going to stay informed, and that's my way to figure out how to keep myself preoccupied and move forward. And it's like, okay, so whatever your plan was that you were saying at the end of the last episode, to be putting your best foot forward, is not the best way to put your foot forward, Mary.
Yeah, well, I think that she makes the point last week where she says that Lizzie is the smart one, right? The clever one.
Yes,
and
she's clever.
I think is the implication there that she's just a little daft. She's not well read, so by becoming more book smart, she's achieving some autonomy.
Like in the sciences almost, or like the religion she's reading, the hymns and stuff like that. Whereas Lizzie's
books about rocks this week.
Yeah, literally books about rocks. But it almost is like a kind of not going back on what we heard at the end of last week, but just re-emphasizing, no, Mary is still behind the 8 ball. She has a long way to go in her development.
Yeah. And this is what she thinks is what she needs. She's basically creating a force field of comfort around her. She knows that she's the awkward one, so let's just be the smart awkward one rather than the sort of daft aloof dumb, or that one.
It kind of calls to mind a lot of those nerds that you didn't like in high school, who weren't very social, but they comforted themselves in knowing more than everyone in the room, and so that made them even more unlikable. So like, congrats, go be valedictorian, loser.
Okay.
Not to be too harsh on those people, but it's like there's a little holier than thou energy coming from Mary, where it's like, you don't have the right to have that energy, Mary. Okay, comb your hair.
Yeah.
But anyways, though, Mr.
Find
Bennet,
out Mr. Collins is coming. Mr. Collins gets a letter.
Right. He tells the family that Mr. Collins is coming for dinner, and so everyone's got.
And Mrs. Bennet is all excited because the letter is someone's coming. Who is it? Someone's coming over, and it's not Mr. Bingley.
No,
it's Mr. Collins.
And by God, she'll make the most of this, Miss Bennet. She wants her kids to get married because, again, the entail that he will inherit the house should Mr. Bennet pass away. And he's looking for a wife, so you got to prepare yourselves. He's a clergyman, as we all know. And you can already tell the girls aren't thrilled about this. The mom's chastising them like, you're going to condemn him before you met him. And it's like, the dude's a clergyman. Who really wants to meet a guy like that? And
well, I mean, I think clergyman is not the only. It's not a total red flag at that point in time because he can get married.
Sure, they must have some illusion of how annoying he is.
I think they know that they don't like mom meddling, especially Lizzie at this point in time, because she's in denial about Mr. Darcy. Like they're around, but these young ones, Lydia and Kitty, you think that they might be a little bit more excitable. But yeah, I mean, they don't. I think they really don't like Mrs. Bennet's meddling.
No, nor should they. She's literally getting in the way of her kids' lives every chance she gets. And so, was it Charlotte though? Takes a moment to talk to Mary, where she relays the news. Mary relays the news to her that like my cousin, Mr. Collins, is coming through. He's a clergyman. He's of modest income. And Charlotte's like, well, what's the deal about this guy? Who really cares if that's his whole deal? And she says, well, the entail. He could inherit this home. And then Charlotte is like, oh, okay, that's worth knowing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And she says it's marriage or misery. Which one would you rather?
Right, because Mary is very much of the mind, like, I'm not going to even try with this guy. It's not my hill to die on. Like, I know what I want to do. I want to read books. But Charlotte says, you could have a nice, happy life just being with this guy, just because, you know, you never know what opportunities you get to marry someone, you know. You don't want to be an old maid. So just get with it. And, of course, Mr. Collins arrives, and true to every interpretation of the character as we've seen, he is a dud through and through.
This is Ryan Sampson, who plays Mr. Collins. Incredible casting.
Every time.
Like, he's short. He's got the. He's tiny. He's awkward.
They nail it every time with this character.
I think Mr. Collins is one of these characters that everybody does it a little differently, as long as the end goal is the same. And I think this one, I think he's perfect for this because he's a little aloof.
Yeah.
Like, he's not, what's his, Lady DeBurge or whoever he talks about a lot in the other adaptations. We don't get a lot of that talk this time.
No.
It's just sort of him on his high horse, but also dweeby. And you see, like, they also focus more on Mary's sort of stims, her physical stims with her picking her fingernails and stuff like that. And you can see that Mr. Collins is in that sort of anxious ilk.
Yeah. He's proud, but he's not rubbing it in your face in this version because he can barely get out what he's trying to say.
And he's not prejudiced.
He's not prejudiced either. So yeah, he's fantastic. And the clothes they have him in, he's like stout and that with a black cape on there. And we see the mother introduces him to all the daughters, quickly glosses over Mary, so he barely even catches her name, barely gets to see her. And he's just stammering through everything he's trying to say, like, oh man, your looks exceed what I've been told. And he's always trying to present himself as humble. When they're having dinner, he's making a great long prayer. He's just a doofus, man. He can't get out. He can't communicate what he's trying to say. He just stammers a lot. And just always says like the most awkward things. And even like Mr. Bennet is just kind of side-eyeing him the whole time.
Yeah, he tries to cut off his grace.
Right. And anytime Lizzie says anything like is a subtle dig, he just kind of like smirks to himself. But
Mary is kind of trying to insert herself.
Yeah.
And you can see that Mrs. Bennet is not thrilled about this.
She took Charlotte's advice to heart where, you know, what is it? Collins is asking the table if they've read any hymns, and she's like, well, have you read Dr. Fordyce? And he's like, Lizzie, what do you think of the hymns? Tell me what you think. And she hasn't read them. She's busy being a woman. And Mary's the only one who's actually interested in sermons, which Collins perks up to a little bit. And at one point, Collins is talking to them all about a sermon, and we've seen this scene before in other adaptations, where he's like just teaching a sermon to the sisters, and Mary is the only one who's talking along. She actually knows it, and she's eyeballing him as he's licking his fingers and turning the page, which is almost more disgusting than anything.
It's a weird moment though, because is that like a kind of like, oh, okay, because it's Mary's not like repulsed by it, you know?
No. But it feels.
I mean, it's repulsive. Not like Bridgerton where it's hot. It's just kind of like she's like, well, maybe.
Yeah, I can make it work with this guy. I can figure it out. And we also see Lizzie playing the piano, and he doesn't know how to react. It's like, wow, you're very good. But then Mary comes in and she plays this really slow kind of chamber song, and that almost brings tears to his eyes. He stands up, and he's entranced by what Mary is playing.
And this is a moment where I don't understand why Mrs. Bennet can't course correct, you know? Her sort of, she has a walk hard sort of thing. Like the wrong kid went for the, just accept the fate. This guy is into Mary, at least conceptually.
Intrigued,
but she said, she even says, your name has not come up. Like, you're not one of these people that he's after.
And you only need one of the kids to marry to, carry on the entail. So I don't know why she's hung up on being Lizzie as the one to see this happen.
Mm-hmm.
And Mother Bennet is like chastising Mary for this, because she's like, you're really ruining things for Lizzie here. You're getting in the way, and Lizzie's the only one who he's interested in, so we're told. And Mary tells her, like, she's not going to accept Mr. Collins. She has no feelings for him. But to Mrs. Bennet's credit, she says, like, he's not something that can be just passed around like a hot potato among the sisters. But at the same time, too, Miss Bennet, you're the one who's trying to pass him off onto Lizzie when he's could be interested in Mary. So it's not like he's trying to be passed around. You're the one passing him on to someone else.
Yeah.
But we're told that a ball is coming up, and it'll be an excuse for him to see, what is it, Jane? Because that's the other thing, too, is they say at one point that it goes from Lizzie being the one to, like, well, he could see Jane next time, too. It's like they already moved on to him maybe being...
Well, no, Jane is... They refer to Jane as basically betrothed. Like, Jane, they write her off pretty quick.
I thought they suggested, though, that Collins had an interest in her.
Well, Collins said when they first do the introductions, they say Jane is going to be engaged soon.
Oh, right, to Bingley. Yes, yeah, that's what they say, is an excuse to see Jane again the next time, when it's really just an excuse for him to see everyone else, to see Lizzie. But, yeah, we get 1 week later, and we learn that, well, Lizzie's supposed to play there, but Mary's been training herself to play the piano, too. Mm-hmm. She wants to make a big show of it. Mrs. Hill is talking
she wants to play a new, as well. And as we know that Collins likes her playing.
Yeah. And so it's coming along nicely. Miss Hill, who we said, the actress who plays Miss Hill, played Mary in the 1995 Pride and Prejudice adaptation, looks so much like she could be Mary's mother. Like there's like a resemblance in the two actresses, I thought. But Miss Hill, the aide, is she hears that Mary says she might sing, and she's like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, maybe don't.
You ever hear yourself? Dave, when did you learn that you can't sing?
I don't think I had the confidence to sing until I was an adult.
So you think you can sing?
I think I'm in a band. I sing backup vocals. I think I can sing.
But
I don't think I would. I wouldn't just go in front of a room of mostly strangers and sing a song that I had not practiced before.
Yeah.
Or performed before.
I think as soon as I turned 13 and my voice just changed, it was like I can't hit any note. This is all coming out flat.
It's confidence. I think that's the one thing that Mary does not know she doesn't have in this party where she tries to sing.
And we see her; she's getting cleaned up for this party.
Mm-hmm.
We see her hairy armpits. They linger on that.
Yeah, which is just period appropriate, but they definitely hover around on her to be weird.
Yeah, clarify for us. Is her armpits hairier than they should be? Should she be shaving them for this occasion?
Yeah, like, why are you only focusing on that part of her hygiene? I guess that's the only TVG thing you can show of a woman's hygiene routine.
Yeah, because back then, I doubt they shaved their legs because they wouldn't show their legs, which is the modern thing for women. Not that they have to do it. That's cool if they don't, but a lot of women do that. So what was the equivalent back then? Your armpits? I don't know.
And I think what the emphasis we're trying to get is that she's scrubbing her pits so she doesn't smell. It's not supposed to be focusing on that, but as someone in the year 2026, it kind of comes off that way.
Also, credit to Ella Broccolieri, because it looks like that's legit. That doesn't look like it was like fake hair under her armpits.
That must be a great gig. Like, don't worry about it. Just you don't have to do anything.
A few weeks off. Yeah,
have fun.
So, yeah, we're at the party. Collins, as ever, is acting odd. Charlotte is there.
We do see a very interesting thing from Collins and Mary that is a thing that my parents instilled in me when I was young, which was when people are talking about where they're traveling from, everyone says, like, coming down from London, But it's no, or they're coming up from London. It's like, no, you're coming down from London. And both Mary and Collins kind of get a little skeeved out by someone saying the wrong direction. And I know my parents were always like, when you go to visit someone down south, you say go down. But when you're going to visit someone in like Maine or Massachusetts or Canada, you say, I'm going up to visit them. So I think it's very, very funny to know that, most people don't do that.
I'm always going to say I'm coming down to Connecticut. I'm not, even though I'm coming up north, I'm always coming down to Connecticut. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But I can see how that's a tick for someone who pays special attention to that, and that definitely seems to trigger both of them.
Yeah, you think like all the signs are lining up.
Yeah, Lizzie's distancing herself. She's trying not to talk to Collins. She's just playing the piano up there. And I think actually this is a scene where she tells Charlotte again the entail is why it's important, and that's why Charlotte becomes especially interested in Collins in this scene. But yeah,
and Charlotte sees Mr. Collins, and then when Mary goes up to perform, Charlotte like pulls a Love Island and says, "Hey, can I borrow you for a chat right now?"
Yeah,
and this is a pretty funny played for laughs scene in Pride and Prejudice where Mary walks up at the party and Mrs. Bennet is kind of like goofily bobbing her head along, but in this one it's played to be sad. Like you don't want to watch our girl mess up like that.
No. I mean, she does have some confidence when she's singing, because I don't think she realizes how bad her voice is.
Yeah.
Mary.
Well, the thing is, it's not bad. It's unaware. It's unaware.
Right. She can't hit the notes that she's trying to do. But she is confident, which is nice. Sometimes you should be aloof to what you can and can't do.
But then Mr. Bennet kind of cuts her off after verse 1. It's like, people don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, she's like, I got another page. And he says, that's good. And it's just like Miss Hill says earlier, just make it brief, like, just keep it. We got enough out of you, Mary. But yeah, it's too late. Charlotte's already talking to Collins. Collins, who's eating like a slob here, too.
Just yeah. I mean, he's a dud.
Truly. Like, I don't know how you're Charlotte. And like, I guess you got to...
Money's money.
Yeah, you need the money.
And the house.
Yep. And so the next day, I think there's the expectation that something's going to happen with Collins. And she gets the news in her room from the sisters that Lizzie's not going to go with Collins, and Mr. Bennet says he will leave if she does marry him, and Miss Bennet says she'll leave if she doesn't. We've heard this a million times before if you read Pride and Prejudice. But then the twist comes at, well, actually Collins is going to go with Charlotte.
Yeah, well, and they do it's so well done. And I think that's right. This is why I'm a little upset that we don't get more Pride and Prejudice, because we see Mary looks out the window and sees Charlotte like coming through the field to come to the house, and it's like, oh, Charlotte, like it's so it's borderline predatory that she's like stepping on that to get that. But I guess as she says it even later on to Mary, I'm too old to be generous with this stuff.
Right, I gave you a shot, you missed. Blame your mom all you want, pretty much. But yeah, it is Mr. Bennet who says, like, yeah, Collins is going to go with Charlotte. And all the sisters are kind of elated that they kind of escaped him coming from them. Miss Bennet, of course, is very upset. Lizzie was selfish to refuse him. And was it Miss Bennet snaps at Mary, right? She was like... It was,
she said you should have never wore spectacles.
Yeah, this is on you.
The act drives me up a wall. Like this whole episode, every time Mrs. Bennet was on the screen, I was like, be nice to your daughter. Like, she's nasty in this episode.
At least dishes it back, like saying, like, a week ago you didn't even want me to entertain him. Now you're trying to give me grief for wearing glasses? Like, get off it. Not here for it, Mom. I'm going to go read a book about rocks now. Bye.
Yeah.
Literally. I like how plain they make Mary. It's like, yeah, of course she would be reading a book about rocks.
Hey, you read what you have. This is not the modern times. If you read all the books and there's a book on rocks, you read the book on rocks.
Go kick rocks, if you may. And so, yeah, you see Charlotte and Collins, and they seem awkward as a couple. He's like playing with her nose or whatever. Anyways, yeah. Charlotte says, I played the game, you lost it. And so 1 week later, we see that a sister has left home to get married. And then I think this was Jane with Bingley. And then the week after that, we see Lizzie with Mr. Darcy.
Yep.
Never even says a word. I barely recall him saying anything in the first episode. I just love how like he's just barely there. It's like, yeah, they're married. It really like catches you off guard, like how quickly I go, wait, what? We're not going to do any of that? And then the other two sisters are married, and then before you know it, it's just Mary at home with her parents. Like so many millennials today that still live at home, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. It just happens that way sometimes for people.
Yeah.
And you see, like, nothing's really changed. She's still just reading books. They don't offer the comfort that she exactly was hoping for that she talked about at the beginning of this episode.
Mm-hmm. The new Mary is struggling. She's realizing, same as the old Mary.
Right. There's no happiness that you really get out of this inevitably by just being alone. The dad's not even hanging around to entertain her. He just kind of gets up to leave, like, whatever, just keep reading Mary. And he collapses. And he's dead.
That's it.
Nothing.
Mr. Bennet's gone.
The narration tells us that mother and her were left with nothing except each other, which is crazy.
Which is a nightmare.
Yeah. I mean, the poster for this show proudly shows Richard E. Grant next to Mary Bennet, you know, Richard E. Grant as Mr. Bennet. So, like, he's featured to be a big character. And as far as we know in the book, he's not dying or anything. So it really does wrong foot you into thinking, like, oh, he'll be around in a big role to, like, oh, no, he's gone. And I don't know about you, Dave. I feel like this is unfortunate because he's one of the best characters in the book.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the best characters throughout the first two episodes here, of the one who just knows better and but doesn't let people know it. He just kind of grins to himself and just, you know, eggs on people to kind of, you know, put the pins in his wife and stuff, or Collins or whoever. Like, it's a shame.
Real shame. Real shame to lose a big name.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like a lot of these shows do this. Didn't Belgravia have Tom Wilkinson as like a father figure, and then they axe him halfway through or however long it took?
Yep. Poldark, 4 episodes in, the dad dies, even though that's based off a book, so I don't know. Mm-hmm. And I guess this is based on the novel, so again, we don't know the novel, so shouldn't have been much of a surprise, but as a TV show, it's like, whoa, what?
I mean, they're definitely breaking her down to build her up.
For sure. And I think the only thing we glossed over was, because that is pretty much the episode.
Yeah.
Is we do get introduced to Mrs. Gardner.
Yep.
Because she takes Mary aside, telling her that was a good rendition of a difficult song, and you know, Mary's like, "Oh, no one noticed but you," and she's like, "You did good up there." And that's played by Indira Varma, who's a very recognizable actress, has been in a number of TV shows, including Game of Thrones. And I would imagine she'll play a bigger role as the show goes on.
Yeah. One would hope.
Right. You don't cast a recognizable face like her without actually doing anything with it. So, yeah, this episode, great episode in terms of just keeping us on our toes here. Yeah,
I mean, I don't love when people are like full on villains the way that I feel like Mrs. Bennet is, especially, and I think one really interesting thing about this is it's an interpretation of Pride and Prejudice from Mary's point of view. So, like, Mrs. Bennet doesn't act very differently than she does, and I'm sure that Lizzie does not think of her the way that Mary does, but also Lizzie's probably not very empathetic towards Mary, you know?
No. And I feel like this is going to be even more explosive next week with, I imagine,
just
Collins.
The two of them?
Well, not just the two of them. Collins and Charlotte are going to have to move in there because they get the intel.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to find somewhere else to go, yeah. Maybe to Darcy.
It's going to be, because you wonder how will Mary not be more spiteful of Charlotte for sweeping it under her to get Collins, I guess, in some regard there. No matter how much interest she actually had in Collins. But yeah, it's going to be an explosive situation in that household next week. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
Yeah, definitely.
It's funny though. I feel like you could have paired the first 2 episodes together though as one episode.
Yeah, but also we skipped over the fact that there's a scene where Mrs. Bennet talks to Mr. Collins. It's the dinner scene, and she said, "We really need to do something about that entail so it doesn't screw over my daughters."
Oh, right.
And Mr. Collins, this is the moment where I think his true colors show. He's like, "Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get there,"
Exactly.
which is the most like, you're a preacher, dude. Like, you're screwing over these young women. It's like, you're a total hypocrite.
Right. He's still interested in himself for the most part. And I guess we should say these 2 episodes did air back to back when it first came on, so it did kind of air as one episode. So that makes sense there. But yeah, good episode, and we got power rankings. And I'll kick it off.
Yes.
I only have 2 for each going up and down because of how short
Okay,
the episode
I
was.
managed to find 3, but I can cut off my third place if we want to make it consistent.
Cut it off.
All right.
Well, number 2 going up, I got Mary.
Going down.
Going down, rather. Going down,
Yep.
I got Mary. Because she tries her hardest to be positioned as viable for Collins, and she loses out, and her mom gets in her way. And she embarrassed herself a little bit with singing, even if she doesn't realize it.
Yeah, that's why I got Mary as well. Because
Okay.
I think that she is taking steps to be an independent person, and she's not failing. Mm-hmm. She's only failing because her mom is constantly cutting her off at the knees.
Right. And to that point, number 1 going down is Mother Bennet.
Oh, yep. Same here.
Because none of her daughters get married to Collins. She gets thwarted at every attempt to try and make it happen. Yeah, it's a tough beat for her. Dave, who was your number 3 then, I guess?
I got Mr. Bennet. The guy dies.
Okay, that's fair. Yes. That would have been an easy call for number 3 going down. He had a good week
and
up
I
until
mean,
then.
and I think his death is so much more symbolic because we saw it last week when they referred to him buried in his newspapers as him like sort of avoiding the fact that he knows that this is it.
Sure.
So
Yeah, it's kind of like a departure point from the novel of like, yeah, this is not what you're expecting at all then.
and it seems it kind of goes to show that he was being kind of selfish. Like you didn't really help set your family up for a life without you in it. And when he
I guess
dies,
so.
it's kind of there you go. Nice. We didn't get a chance. You were too busy reading your newspaper to set Mary up for success.
It's hard to fault him because I don't know how much of a hand he actually had to play in terms of the house and who it fell to.
That's true. When we did see Collins at one point, like knocking on the dining room table, like, this is great. Love this table. And it's like, you just really wish that there was something that could have been done.
Right. Well, who's number 3 going up then, Dave?
Well, I got Lizzie. She doesn't have to marry. She avoids
she's my
marrying
number 2.
Collins. Okay.
Because, yeah, she effectively jumps out of the way every time they try to put Collins on her. And without even trying, she marries Darcy, which is the whole thrust of an entire novel about her. And we barely even see that. So, kudos to her.
Well, my number 2 is Collins, because I think that Collins is not... I don't think, aside from the comment about, swapping away the idea that the entail can be at least given to some insurance to the unmarried Bennet family members, I think he's played to be about as nice as he is in any of the adaptations. He's not malicious. Mm-hmm. He's just a guy trying to marry and sort of level up his life,
Yeah,
which is every guy doing it at the time. And not to mention, he marries my number 1, who's Charlotte.
Yeah, she's my number 1 also because she plays the game right. She tries to help Mary out, and as soon as she's like, well, Mary had her shot, I'm taking mine, she works her magic. She knows exactly what she's doing, and she gets it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can't argue with that. Results.
Real shame.
Yeah, married to a dud, but hey, you can't win them all.
Nope.
And we'll be back next week talking the 3rd episode of The Other Bennet Sister. Dave, have you been watching anything else?
So we watched Cinderella for our Patreon feed, and it kind of came into discussion that I had never seen Mary Poppins front to bottom,
I've never seen Mary Poppins front to bottom.
Now I have.
Oh, okay.
I watched Mary Poppins over the weekend, and I gotta say, some of these movies that are like classic movies, I think if you miss them in your youth, there's a big old like it didn't work for me. It's long. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes long.
Mary Poppins?
Mary Poppins is 2 hours and 20 minutes long.
Why? I mean, why? Yeah.
This might. I mean, I don't want to slander a classic because I think Julie Andrews is incredible. Dick Van Dyke is incredible. The big songs are great, and the production. Sure. I think it must have been mind blowing to watch this movie in the theater when it came out.
The penguin dancing scene I'm familiar with.
But there's like the whistle or spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down is like all the stop motion stuff interacting with live actors. Yeah. And there's all the dancing and the singing. I mean, it's an incredible production, but I think the movie's kind of like it's a bunch of sketches tied together.
Okay.
So I'm kind of curious to know how the Emily Blunt one exists and what it does. I don't know if I want to watch it. But
Mary Poppins Returns. It's 8 minutes shorter, at least.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was... Could we just start with that one? But no, I mean, I would say I'm glad I saw Mary Poppins because it was one of my mom's favorites. But, you know, on this end of it, I don't know.
Okay.
House of Boys. You know, we had no... Mary Poppins didn't stand a chance amongst Star Wars and The Lion King.
I feel like we watched Chitty Chitty Bang Bang before we watched Mary Poppins for some reason.
Okay, yeah. What about you, Corey? You watching anything?
Well, one of my favorite dating shows is back on Netflix, Better Late Than Single. Korean dating show. Every episode is at least an hour to 90 minutes. It was a 4-episode drop. It's the best. It's these people who are in their late 20s and early 30s who have never dated anyone seriously. And these people are so hopeless. It's great. Like, you got one guy who works for a video game company and sleeps in cubbies at his office, so he never goes out afterwards. We have a girl who gets so drunk, her friends call her a man whore, which I have not heard that word in a long time. And they kept
that's not a word you hear a lot in America anymore.
Well, that's what she is self-described as. There's another lady who's just obsessed with manga and anime, and so no man can like measure up to that. Incredible women on the show, and then the guys. So many of them are just letdowns. They just do not know how to talk to women. They're completely like staying within their shell. It's so entertaining because it's just like these guys just keep saying the wrong thing every time. Like, well, I'm actually interested in this woman. Why would you tell the girl you're talking to that you're interested in another woman? Why would you do that?
Well, it kills people on Love is Blind, so I can see it happening there and other shows too.
Yeah. I mean, last season, it's going to be hard to top the guy who saw women walking by and he hid in bushes because he was so afraid.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a great show. But yeah, it's like 4 hours of TV, 4+ hours of TV. So,
and is that the whole season, or is that just
2 more episodes drop tomorrow, 2 more episodes after that, and then another couple episodes, and it's a 10-episode season. And aside from that, World Cup, I think we got to eat a little crow for last week. We were like, USA, man, we may be doing it this year. Nope. We were wrong on that.
Thanks, President, for doing what you did.
Yeah, I guess. Well, we'll get them next time, I guess. Anyways,
maybe.
World Cup, it'll be over by the time we record next time. It's been fun. But you know where to find us. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Hit us up at lordsgrantham@gmail.com. Leave a 5-star rating and review wherever you hear us. iTunes, Spotify. And yeah, we'll catch you next time on the pod.